Welcome to Microbe World. This public library keyboard hides 400 times more bacteria than a toilet seat. Why touch it today? We wash our hands after using the bathroom, but rarely after using a shared public computer. Let us explore this hidden danger. Welcome to one of the dirtiest places in our community environment. The library keyboard is a massive, invisible museum of dangerous microbes. Look closely at these keys. Thousands of different people have touched them, leaving behind a completely unique microscopic signature every single time. These invisible signatures contain human sweat, skin oils, dead cells, and countless bacteria transferred directly from mouths, noses, and human digestive tracts. Zooming in between two plastic keys reveals a terrifying landscape. Red glowing organisms and purple spheres hide deep within the dark crevices. Under the powerful lens of an electron microscope, the tiny spaces between keyboard buttons transform into a sprawling, horrifying bacterial metropolis today. We can easily spot traces of harmful intestinal bacteria everywhere. This is undeniable proof of extremely poor bathroom hygiene among library users. Alongside these intestinal germs, golden staph bacteria thrive here. These purple organisms are notorious for causing painful skin infections in healthy individuals. Even more dangerous, this plastic surface is the perfect sanctuary for influenza viruses and throat pathogens, surviving for many hours without dying. Every time someone types an essay or searches the catalog, their fingers press down into this dense microscopic jungle of unseen threats. A single sneeze sends thousands of infectious droplets raining down onto the keys, instantly transforming the keyboard into a highly contagious zone. These tiny droplets dry quickly on the plastic, but the viruses inside remain completely active and ready to infect the next user. The public keyboard acts as an invisible bridge spreading diseases throughout the community, a silent threat that almost nobody ever notices today. Think about how many times you rub your eyes or touch your mouth while reading an interesting article on a public monitor. In that fleeting moment, millions of bacteria transfer from the plastic keys directly onto your fingertips, beginning their journey into your body. Skin flakes fall like continuous snow into the dark valleys beneath the letters, providing an endless food source for these microscopic colonies. Fungi and mold spores also join this hidden ecosystem, thriving in the warm environment generated by the computer hardware operating constantly nearby. The spacebar is usually the most heavily contaminated area, collecting a massive concentration of germs from both thumbs of every user. The Enter key is another massive hotspot for biological activity, enduring forceful strikes that embed oils and dirt deep into the plastic. Imagine the person who sat here just before you. They might have coughed directly into their hands before aggressively typing their password. The warm keyboard surface acts as an incubator, keeping these dangerous pathogens alive and multiplying rapidly while waiting for the next victim. Red intestinal bacteria glow under our simulation, revealing the shocking truth about how rarely people actually wash their hands after using restrooms. These coliform bacteria typically belong in the human gut, yet they somehow find their way onto the letters you touch every morning. When you consume a quick snack while studying, you might be unintentionally ingesting these exact same harmful bacteria straight into your stomach. The purple clusters of Staphylococcus aureus are equally alarming, clinging stubbornly to the textured plastic keys despite occasional wiping by library staff. These resilient microbes can survive extreme dryness and temperature changes, patiently waiting for a tiny cut on your finger to enter through. Once inside your body, they can cause severe skin infections, painful boils, or even more complicated internal health issues if left untreated. We often focus entirely on the glowing screen, completely ignoring the massive bacterial civilization flourishing right beneath our rapidly moving typing fingertips. Dust particles combine with natural skin oils to create a sticky protective biofilm, shielding these dangerous colonies from standard basic cleaning efforts. This microscopic fortress ensures that even when the keyboard looks perfectly clean to the naked eye, it remains a heavily contaminated zone. Notice how the corners of the keys accumulate a dark, hardened grime over time, representing years of accumulated biological waste and dirt. Let us dive deeper into this miniature world, where a single hair follicle trapped between keys looks like a giant fallen tree. Around this hair, thousands of bacteria swarm and multiply, feeding on the natural proteins and oils left behind by the previous user. Every keystroke acts like a mechanical pump, pushing air and microscopic debris deeper into the dark, inaccessible circuitry beneath the plastic board. The internal structure of the keyboard creates a perfectly sheltered cavern, where sunlight and fresh air can never reach the growing colonies. Library ventilation systems blow warm air across the room, gently scattering these microscopic particles onto nearby desks and unsuspecting students studying quietly. This means you do not even need to touch the keyboard directly to be exposed to its massive array of floating microbes. But direct contact remains the absolute most dangerous transmission method, transferring entire communities of harmful bacteria straight to your sensitive bare skin. Students frantically typing their final essays often eat sandwiches simultaneously, creating a direct highway for germs from the plastic to their mouths. Crumb particles from those sandwiches drop between the keys, acting like massive nutritional bombs that fuel explosive bacterial growth for several weeks. We rarely consider the mouse, another shared device sitting right beside the keyboard, harboring a similarly terrifying collection of human biological residue. The mouse scroll wheel is a prime location for accumulating skin cells and sweat, creating a thick layer of invisible infectious material. Together, the keyboard and mouse form a highly efficient disease distribution system, touching hundreds of different library visitors throughout a single day. During flu season, this public workstation transforms into a ground zero for viral transmission, silently infecting entire classrooms and local community groups. An infected person leaves behind microscopic viral particles that can easily survive on these hard plastic surfaces for up to 40 hours. The next user sits down, touches the contaminated keys, and unconsciously brushes their nose, instantly completing the invisible chain of viral infection. This terrifying cycle repeats endlessly, turning a simple tool for accessing knowledge into a highly effective weapon for spreading dangerous community illnesses. Scientific swabbing reveals that the microbial diversity found here rivals that of a heavily used public restroom door handle or garbage bin. Yet, while we instinctively avoid touching garbage bins, we confidently rest our hands on these keys for hours without a second thought. Our visual simulation highlights these invisible threats, painting the keyboard in vibrant neon colors to represent the sheer volume of bacterial contamination. Watch as the glowing green trails follow the exact path of the user's fingers, tracing a map of dangerous biological residue everywhere. These glowing marks demonstrate how easily microbes transfer from the plastic surface directly onto human skin with just a light, brief touch. Children are especially vulnerable, often touching these public surfaces and immediately putting their unwashed fingers into their mouths while playing educational games. Their developing immune systems face a massive challenge when suddenly confronted with this highly concentrated dose of diverse public library bacterial strains. As we zoom out, we see the entire computer lab glowing with invisible microbial life, a vibrant ecosystem hidden in plain sight. The sheer density of bacteria here is truly staggering, surpassing even the most heavily trafficked areas of public transportation networks and subways. It is completely impossible to sterilize these complex electronic devices thoroughly without causing severe water damage to the fragile internal circuitry below. Therefore, standard library cleaning routines usually involve only a quick surface wipe, leaving millions of dangerous microbes perfectly intact inside the crevices. This false sense of cleanliness is exactly what makes public keyboards so incredibly dangerous to our daily health and overall community well-being. However, you do not need to avoid public libraries entirely to stay safe from these horrifying microscopic monsters hiding on the keys. The ultimate defense mechanism is incredibly simple, highly effective, and entirely within your personal control every single time you use the computer. Awareness is the first critical step in breaking this invisible chain of severe microbial transmission that plagues our modern public shared spaces. Once you understand the sheer magnitude of the bacterial presence, your fundamental approach to using shared electronic devices will change forever today. You must consciously train yourself to stop touching your face, rubbing your eyes, or scratching your nose while working at the library. This simple behavioral adjustment drastically reduces the exact number of harmful pathogens that successfully enter your vulnerable respiratory and digestive bodily systems. Furthermore, carrying a small bottle of strong hand sanitizer liquid is an absolutely essential habit for anyone navigating these modern public environments. A quick application of sanitizer immediately after finishing your computer session destroys the vast majority of viruses and bacteria clinging to you. Watch how the sanitizing gel aggressively breaks down the protective cell walls of these dangerous microbes, rendering them completely harmless and dead. Washing your hands thoroughly with warm water and antibacterial soap remains the gold standard for personal hygiene after visiting any public facility. The mechanical friction of rubbing your soapy hands together physically dislodges the stubborn bacterial colonies that desperately cling to your skin ridges. As the water washes the suds down the drain, it carries away millions of potential infections, leaving your hands incredibly safe again. You can also carry antibacterial wipes to gently clean the keyboard and mouse before you even begin typing your very first word. This proactive approach not only protects your own health, but also helps reduce the overall bacterial load for the entire library community. Imagine if everyone took just 5 seconds to wipe down their workstation. The chain of infection would be instantly and permanently broken. We must bridge the massive gap between our bathroom hygiene habits and our general behavior when interacting with shared public technology devices. The microscopic world is constantly interacting with ours, completely indifferent to our ignorance, patiently waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike us. Knowledge is your strongest shield against these invisible invaders, empowering you to make smarter, healthier choices in your everyday public daily life. Protect yourself and your community by adopting excellent hygiene habits whenever you sit down at a shared computer terminal in the library. The next time you type on a public keyboard, remember the sprawling microscopic museum of bacteria hidden just beneath your busy fingertips. Stay curious, stay extremely clean, and always wash your hands thoroughly after exploring the vast digital universe on shared public library computers. Thank you for watching this terrifying journey. Please subscribe to Microbe World for more fascinating microscopic adventures into the hidden biological realm.